Ciao a tutti and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome again. My name is Rachel and I hope you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos. If you are returning, thank you guys so much for the love and support. You guys know you mean the world to me. So as you guys probably read by the title already, I'm going to be talking about what I love and what I don't really love about living in Italy. A year and some months has already passed since I moved and I have learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about this country. It's been an amazing journey. So you guys always ask what it's like living here, so I got you. So here's a video. I hope you guys enjoy it and let's get right into it. I don't know where time has flown. It feels like just yesterday, you know, it's crazy. But let me just stop rambling on and on and let's just get on to the stuff that I love about this country. You know, you always gotta be positive, so let's start with the stuff I love. The first thing is the food, of course. I mean, if you live in Italy or if you've been to Italy, you probably love the food. Italians know how to cook such amazing dishes. They know how to season their food. You know, they love olive oil and I'm a huge fan of olive oil, so it just works. It works for us, you know. I love the bread as well. Oh, the Italian bread is so good. I just put olive oil and some mozzarella and it's so yummy. So yeah, and another plus is the food is really healthy as well. Yeah, the food is amazing. I'm still learning more Italian dishes to cook, so that part has been just so much fun. The next thing is the culture. Italy is just rich in culture when it comes to just everything of how they've been able to preserve their heritage, they've been able to preserve their history, and that's why so many of us travel to come and see this place. And if you're lucky enough to live here, you can go visit all these amazing places. There's never a dull moment living in Italy. The next thing is the cost of living. I think it's quite reasonable and affordable to live in Italy. The healthcare is free and it's pretty efficient, so I love that part of living here. I can literally just go to the hospital and not worry about paying I don't know how much. And another thing is I love that I don't have to always worry about something happening to me in the evening. I can just walk. Yeah, I can walk. Obviously be vigilant. I can walk in the nighttime and have nothing happen to me because most people actually stay out till really late. Italians love being outdoors, so you can be walking at 02 and there's still people walking around, going to the bars, you know. It's just, that's just their lifestyle. Italians love to go out, so it's really safe, which is always a good thing. Another thing is that Italy is just, when it comes to the fashion, it's just out of this world. You guys already know Italy is known for fashion. When it comes to just quality clothes and shoes, you know, the leather shoes, the leather bags, you can die. Your bank account will just be screaming because they're not very cheap. But when it comes to fashion, Italians know how to dress. I remember the other morning, this lady was wearing just this amazing coat. She was wearing these high knee boots and she entered the grocery store and I was like, okay, that's levels, you know. I mean, who goes to the grocery store in high knee boots? That's just crazy. But the Italians love to look good. They love to spend on clothes. I love that all the shops are just so close to each other. There's a culture of spending and of shopping. So if you love to shop, I'm sure everybody does, you'll have a great time living here. Another thing I love is the weather compared to most European countries. When it's hot, it gets really hot. When it's cold, it doesn't get as cold as other countries. I remember when I went to Belgium, it was freezing and I just hate the cold. So if you love summer, if you love the sun, Italy is a place to be. Another thing is the public transport. I personally don't have a problem when it comes to the public transport. A few friends have been like, what do you love about the public transport? It's slow, it's this, it's that. For me personally, I think the public transport is efficient. As long as I can get from point A to point B, I'm good and it's inexpensive. I mean, for a train ticket, a bus ticket is like €1.50 for 1.5 hours, I believe. I'm not sure. Enough about the stuff I love. Let's just move on to the stuff that I don't really love about this country. If you are Italian, don't take offense. These are only just my personal opinions. They're not facts, so yeah. Okay, numero uno is the customer service. I hate the customer service in this country. I mean, when you talk about major stores like Zara, H&M, Sephora, MAC, you would somewhat think that, okay, you know, the employees would be, you know, nice and they would greet you. No, they just look at you and they just continue on with their lives. I remember when I went to Sephora in Italy, and the employees were literally just like doing their own thing. Nobody said hello, nobody was like, can I help you? No, unless maybe you go to the center of Rome where, you know, there are more tourists and stuff like that. Maybe the employees will be a lot more, you know, accommodating. But if you go to the outer areas of Rome, oh, the customer service sucks. Maybe because I'm part of the minority group, I don't want to pull that card, but you never know. The next thing is that I feel like some Italian people are very close-minded, because I've noticed that, you know, an Italian person can ask you where you're from and you tell them and they'll be like, I mean, I don't expect you to know everything. I mean, they're just certain things that you should know, especially if you live in this world, you know. And so I think Italians tend to be very about themselves and about their country and about Europe. But when you talk about, you know, learning about, you know, other places, other continents, they barely know. And the sucky part is that when it comes to the news, all they put on the news is just kids in Africa who are starving, who need water, who need housing, and please donate. And I'm just like, okay, there are, you know, in every country there's poor people, there's poverty, but there's just so many beautiful places in Africa, and you'd be shocked how modern and beautiful Africa is as well. So I just don't get that whole part of just showing the negative parts. And most of them will be like, oh, do you guys ride elephants? And I'm just like, just what? Ride elephants in 2018? That's just ridiculous. Quite honestly, I just can't. Another thing is, you know, the staring. Italians stare a lot, and maybe it has to do with them being very close-minded, or some of them at least. But they stare at you, they can stare at you the whole train ride until they get off, or until you get off. And I'm just like, it's really not that deep, you know. I'm a person of color, yes, but have you never... And sometimes it's never a good stare. They might stare at you to intimidate you, or just look at you up and down. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I really don't care. I really, really don't care. So yeah, the stares are really bad. I don't know about you guys, but how I was raised, staring is very rude. You don't just stare at people. It's not very polite. So yeah, they need to get the program. Yeah, so another thing is, some Italian people, especially the men, have this fetish for black women, and I just don't know what it is, but it makes me very uncomfortable. And there have been so many instances where, you know, an old man is just like following me. I remember I was walking and this man was just following me, and every time I stopped, he would stop. He was trying to come talk to me, and I'm just like, you're old enough to be my grandfather. Can you move? And another time, the man was in the car and he was just like following me and my friend, and he would like tell us to come in the car, and I'm just like, really? Like, ew. The next thing is how some Italian people are very short-tempered. Their anger level is up here, and I will say, I don't think Italians are the most polite people. Yeah, when it comes to their anger and controlling it, they're not very good at that. I don't know how many times I've been in a train or in a bus where the bus driver is shouting at the passenger, or the passenger is shouting at the bus driver for taking too long, or for not opening the door at the right time, or just closing the door too fast, or whatever the case is. It's just crazy. Sometimes you might just see couples argue, you might see them cussing. Italians don't mind cussing you out if you're taking too long or you're walking a certain way. They can look at you up and down. Yeah, it's a whole mess. Italian people are very short-tempered, very temperamental, and yeah. So the last thing I'm going to talk about before this video gets too long, and that I'm sure you guys already guessed, is the racism, of course. The racism hasn't gotten any better since I came here. I doubt it will. I don't want to be negative, but that's just the honest truth. I don't think the racism is getting any better. And with the whole economic and social issues going on in this country, a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are irritated with immigrants and that whole issue. And yeah, it's just crazy. I'm fortunate enough to not have gone through direct racism, but I have seen it firsthand, and it's just so sad to see the minority group, you know, just go through so much discrimination and racism, and it's just so sad. But I've just built this almost world, my own bubble, where I just live my life. And before I was very conscious of everything and everyone, but now I've just learned to live my own life. Quite honestly, I've just learned that, you know, nobody has that much power over me to dictate how I should feel or how I should act. If nobody wants to sit next to me on the bus, well, you know, I just see it as a positive. There's more space for me. I can put my bag on the chair. You know, if people have so much hate within themselves, it has nothing to do with me. So yeah, it's just part of living in Europe, I guess, and being part of the minority group means you're going through racism. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment down below your thoughts and your opinions, and I'll be happy to read them. Also, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos. I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.